Greetings to everyone, I'm Kim Shin. I'll be talking about the Nyonya wear, which is Nyonya Kebaya, and my partner Cha Chen will demonstrate it. To kick off, let's take a look at the history of Nyonya Kebaya. The Nyonya Kebaya is an outfit most associated with the women of the Chinese Peranakan community who are commonly known as Nyonyas. Initially, the Nyonyas adopted the Malay dress form known as the baju panjang, kebaya panjang or baju berlabu besar, considered the earliest iteration of the kebaya. The kebaya labu or kebaya panjang was widely worn in Java and neighboring islands like Sumatra, where Portuguese women were said to have adopted the style of dress when they arrived in the East Indies in the 16th century. It is thought to have its origin in the traditional Turkish dress known as al-akibiya or Turkiya. Alternatively, some claim that the garment was likely modeled after the kaba, a regal robe worn by rulers and the upper class in the Middle East, Central Asia, and northern India since the 9th century. Still, other sources suggest it may have also been influenced by the Chinese, as the open-founded tunic is reminiscent of dresses worn by women during the Ming Dynasty. The kebaya then resembles a loose, neat-length tunic and is usually made of semi-transparent fabrics such as cotton. The central opening of the blouse dress is usually fastened by brooches and is traditionally worn over the kempan trouser web along with a sarong web around the hips. Similar variants of the kebaya labu are also popular in Malaysia, such as the kebarung, a combination of baju kurung and kebaya bahan riau, which has a high cekak musang collar and is fastened with 7 or 9 buttons. By the 19th century, the baju panjang was already widely adopted by local Malay and straight Chinese women in Singapore and Malaya. The Nyonyas began to modify the form of the baju panjang around the turn of the 20th century. By then, the outfit was seen as conservative and worn only by the elderly. As an alternative, young Nyonyas turned to a lace-embroidered kebaya that the Europeans had begun to adopt. The heat-length embroidered kebaya then became popular with the Nyonyas around the 1920s. Over time, the fully embroidered Nyonyas kebaya top became synonymous with the Nyonyas. Notably, some resources claim that Nyonya Kebaya originated from Java, Medan, or Surabaya. Conversely, some writers claim that Penang or Malacca was indeed the origin of the Nyonya Kebaya, having adopted the dress independently. Nevertheless, similar Nyonya Kebaya can also be found in Phuket and Merda, where they share a similar Peranakan culture. Although it is no longer worn daily by the younger generation, the Nyonya Kebaya is considered a hallmark of the Peranakan identity and is still worn for special occasions today. These days, many young women choose to pair the kebaya with Western-style dresses, skirts, and even jeans. Being semi-transparent, the Nyonya Kebaya is usually worn over a camisole and secured at the front by a set of 3 interlinked kerongsang brooches. The kebaya top is paired with a sarong skirt featuring batik designs. They are either drawn by hand or machine printed. Batik fabric often features intricate motifs of flowers, birds, and butterflies. Sometimes, checker and geometric patterns are also used. The outfit is completed with decorative accessories such as a cucuk sangkut hairpin, a silver pendant belt for securing the sarong, as well as a pair of kasut manik beaded slippers for formal occasions. Generally, the traditional kebaya is made either from muslin or voile and decorated with elaborate embroidery and lace work. In contrast, a modern kebaya is made from materials such as printed batik, cotton, satin, and chiffon, and is usually unembroidered. An example of a modern kebaya is the iconic Singapore girl uniform adopted by Singapore Airlines for its stewardesses. Traditionally, the style of Nyonya Kebaya can be classified into 3 main periods about the fashion and technology trends at that moment. The 3 styles of Nyonya Kebaya are Kebaya Rendah, Kebaya Piku, and Kebaya Sulam. Kebaya Rendah, the earliest Nyonya Kebaya, uses lace. Kebaya Piku, an improved version of Kebaya Rendah, uses embroidery only at the hem of the dress. In contrast, The Kebaya Sulam is quintessential Nyonya Kebaya that we know today. Among the popular embroidery motifs for Kebaya Sulam include flowers, butterflies, phoenixes, dragons, and insects. The sarong, on the other hand, often uses hand-drawn batik clothes from Java. There also exists a kebaya that is worn specifically for mourning, known as Kebaya Tauha. The color of Kebaya Tauha represents the different stages of a mourning's period. Nyonya Kebayas means for homeware features simple embroidery motif along the edges. Initially, the Sula embroidery for the Kebaya top was done primarily by hand. However, the cottage industry for Kebaya embroidery began to decline by the 1970s due to the emergence of mass production technology for clothes. Next, I will discuss about the way how to wear sarong for Nyonya Kebaya. It is effortless to wear the sarong. Just slip into the circular sarong and position yourself on the left side of the sarong while holding the right end of the sarong with your left hand. Using your right hand, hold down the front part of the sarong so that it fits nicely across your abdomen. With your left hand, float the remaining material toward your left hip while still holding on to the front and back edges where it meets on the right side of your hip. Secure everything tightly and then fold the top of the sarong at your waist level in an upward manner. Make sure that the sarong does not drag on the floor, then turn it so that the end of the sarong folds in front of your left thigh. Usually, a belt is required to secure the sarong.
Now, I would like to show you my shooting of this piece of Nyonya Kebaya.